As I was watching this, it was released on a standard DVD. But then on July 17th, by sheer coincidence, Janus Films, who works in cooperation with Criterion, announced that they are going to do a 4K rescue and they'll be released in theaters on August 17th, 27th, something like that. So Gandahar is a French animated film, of course, from a 1969 novel with a name that I can't pronounce, directed by Rene Lalo, something like that. And it is interesting. I mean, we get some of the more interesting looking inhabitants of a planet. So we have this kind of peace loving group known as the Gandaharians. Yeah, I think it's how it's pronounced. And it's like they live in this kind of like ideal life, but they also have some prejudice against what they call the transformed or the deformed that kind of live underground. But then they kind of have, some of them have like multiple heads. One of them's missing an arm. I think through experimentation. It's not really explained what it is, but you can infer, I guess. And then there's also this group of, as they call it, metal men or something, just coming in, these silent and deadly killers. Not silent but deadly, but silent and deadly. They just come out of nowhere, and it's up to this one hero named Sylvain. That's a male version of Sylvia. They come and stop him. His puny little gun doesn't do much, and he gets turned to stone. It's like, and then what follows is trying to figure out where exactly are these automaton coming from. These automata, I believe it's called. And there's this giant being, it's the Metamorphosis, that it can control its own arms and things like that. And it's like it is somehow unconsciously created these metal men, these not robots, but how they're going around trying to help get all the, what was it, the blood or something, whatever necessary for their leader. But then it's like this Metamorphosis doesn't want it. I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking at this point, yeah, the movie is going good, so it's up to the rebellion going 1,000 years in the future, where the Metamorphosis has aged and it's gone senile and constantly requires blood, a la Elizabeth Bathory, in order to stay young. And I'm like, okay, now we're getting some good stuff going on. It's like, obviously they managed to stop the Metamorphosis in the future with a syringe that contains, I forgot what it was, but, and it's go back and past it, we get the best ending possible. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, the Gahandar's return, and it's implied that they do make amends with the deformed creatures, which, obviously live underground. So it's definitely a unique one. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's a trope that's been done in sci-fi, but in my opinion, this is definitely one that really needs the remastering, which Janus is definitely providing. The plot definitely does go all over the place, but it's comprehensive enough where nothing feels like someone changes their mind on a whim, compared to the Time Masters. It feels like there's no Deus Ex Machina here. It feels like everything, it was leading upwards and upwards, and the stakes were going, and we do get some satisfying ending and an understanding of like what the individual versus the hive mentality of the robots. I mean, everything in this movie it flows well. We get the answers that we're looking for. We even get we even get the blue people, the Gahandarans, or I'm sorry, I forgot the name. That look, it's like, yeah, obviously they're the ones that do seem like they're in charge, or they eventually realize, yeah, we kind of screwed this up. With the form, that part is not expanded on too much, and we'll get enough, but it just feels like it could, but just a little bit more to reach for me, a satisfying conclusion. Obviously, the artwork is outstanding, going along with the style that Lolo is famous for. You know, for the etching, along with the blue story, kind of a truly a unique way of how it looks. It feels like everything is done in a beautiful etching, painting, or drawing, sketching, whatever, to present like an otherworldly look. And then you obviously get the metallic. You get the like I said, the metalmen coming in. They're not robots. They have the membrane that was put in by the metamorphosis. And I like the way, and I even like the sound, like when they're walking, it's like give them white gravitas. You know how they like shoot out their lasers and everything else, and we get some good action sequence, especially like dropping boulders, bringing in creatures to stop them. It's like they're doing what they can to stop this threat. Although it feels like the animation here is really smooth. It doesn't feel like janky or anything else. And the facial expressions that were done by whatever team this was, they're like, yeah, we are going to definitely improve and make this standout look really good. I'm like, this is what I want to see. I like it. I like the beautiful underwater scene with where the leader is, and he's got and provides us, I guess you could say, safe area. I don't want to say safe area, but this more kind of tropical-ish area. And I'm like, okay, that is definitely a place where I would want to be. It's almost like a lazy river. But then, yeah, and then it's just so good to look at. But and the music tune's got synthesizer and an orchestra and everything else. But yeah, obviously when this got an American version, anglicized, if you will, Isaac Asimov wrote the English script. I mean, one of the three premier sci-fi writers, along with Clark and someone else whose name eludes me. But then they added some progressive rock numbers in here, which was in vogue at the time, Marillion. So, I mean, obviously, yeah, you're going to get some differences, and because of the way how the characters look, it's going to be off-putting for some people. I think I had a buddy of mine say, yeah, this looks weird. Then I said, yeah, this is just what I like. I understand a little bit more of what's going on. I was like, hey, that's cool. And just how different filmmaking ways compared to America. The French is going to be obviously different, where everything just goes naturally and smoothly, but you do have to look and pay attention to what's going on. But at the same time, it's not for everyone. I'm going to say that because of just how kinetic everything is. I mean, at only 80 minutes, it's not that bad. It's definitely one you would put on again. And again, like I said, this one feels more natural and smooth than the Time Masters I watched earlier this week. So yeah, definitely if you get the chance, check out Gandahar.